So you're thinking about moving to Whitefish, Montana. Maybe you've visited the area before to go skiing or snowboarding at Whitefish Mountain Resort. Maybe you've come to Whitefish on your way to Glacier National Park, which is just 30 minutes away. Maybe you've gone to Whitefish Lake and have done the boating and the paddle boarding or hiked in the area and just thought, what's it like to actually live here? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna be going over the pros and cons of living in Whitefish, Montana, covering cost of living, access to outdoor amenities, things that you need to know about living in a ski town like this. My name is Lindsay Iskerka, and I'm a real estate agent with the Living in Kalispell real estate team. We get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you every single day wanting to know, what is life really like in Montana? Go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I give you real talk about living in Northwest Montana, including Whitefish and Kalispell. I go over the pros and cons like I will in this video, and you're gonna be more equipped to know if this is an area that is right for you. So go ahead and reach out to us. We'd love to connect with you and just see if a move to Northwest Montana makes sense for you. So let's start with the pros. Number one has to be the breathtaking scenery and outdoor recreation in Whitefish, Montana. Whitefish is nestled just at the base of Big Mountain, as we call it here, but the Whitefish Ski Resort. World-class skiing and snowboarding, alpine skiing, uphill skiing, all of those things are available for you right at Whitefish Mountain Resort. Plus, there's also a ton of trails during the wintertime for snowmobiling, snowshoeing, any kind of winter activity that you can imagine. Those then become hiking and biking trails for the summertime. So really access to a ton of world-class terrain for all of your outdoor hobbies. You're also right near Glacier National Park, which sees 3 million visitors every single year. You're near Whitefish Lake and Flathead Lake. Whitefish Lake is known for boating, paddle boarding, jet skiing, fishing, all those amazing things that you can do during the summertime. And it has breathtaking views of Whitefish Mountain Resort and all the mountains that surround it. It really is an incredible lake to visit. And then just about 20 minutes south, you have Flathead Lake. And Flathead Lake is the largest lake west of the Mississippi, and that has even more paddleboarding, boating, fishing, amazing restaurants and places to visit along there as well. And that's just a quick 20-minute drive away. On top of that, locals in the area know many more lakes and rivers to access that the tourists don't know about. It's a true four-season playground for outdoor enthusiasts of all kinds. No matter what it is that you like to do, Whitefish, Montana has it. There's even dog sledding here. There's a Clydesdale outpost that has horses that you can ride and cabins you can stay in. So many amazing things to visit while you're in the area, and it's all right here in your backyard. Pro number two is that Whitefish, Montana is a charming, upscale, small town vibe. Whitefish is a quintessential mountain town. Rustic meets refined charm, it meets chic, it's timeless, it's classic, and it's really, really beautiful. Whitefish has not lost its soul when people come in and renovate different businesses or homes in the area or add to the development. Whitefish still really has this timeless, charming vibe to it. It's friendly, welcoming community. People love living here. They put a lot of pride in where they live here in Whitefish, Montana. It feels cozy, safe, and beautifully maintained. Another pro of living in Whitefish, Montana is a Hallmark-worthy winters and festive spirit. If you have dreamed of living in a Hallmark movie, then Whitefish, Montana may be exactly what you are looking for. Snow-covered mountains, twinkle lights all around the downtown area, so many community events for the holidays. It makes it a destination for the wintertime on top of some world-class skiing or snowboarding at Whitefish Mountain Resort. This is truly a magical place to visit for the holiday season or anytime during the winter. And it's really something that you have to see for yourself to appreciate it. It's ideal for those who romanticize winter and ski town living. Locals and tourists alike love the small town magic, local businesses, People are coming together to really make the holidays something special. And that's something that I've really enjoyed coming to Northwest Montana myself, is how much there is to do during the holidays for my family. I love Christmas time. I have loved living near Whitefish, Montana for this very reason. And when people come to visit, they can see why I love living here, and how Whitefish does the holidays is a big part of that. You really need to see it to believe it for yourself. Pro number 4 are the great events and culture that a small town like Whitefish can still put on. So Whitefish, Montana is home to Under the Big Sky Music Festival. Think of this music festival as like a stagecoach for Northwest Montana. People from all over Montana, Canada, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, and beyond come to Whitefish, Montana for this fantastic 3-day music festival right in July. Whitefish is also a very artistic town with so many different community events, theater productions being put on all year round, art walks, galleries in downtown Whitefish. It really has a great culture and event space, even though it's a small town. Right in downtown Whitefish as well, there's a little section that is an open space. It has food trucks with live music and cornhole, and it's family friendly. It's a great place to sit out, enjoy the fresh mountain air and the sunshine, get a great bite to eat from a local food truck and some ice cream or a drink, and just enjoy being outside. So Whitefish really puts on great community events no matter what the season, and you have access to all of that being a resident here. Another pro to Whitefish, Montana is the easy access to travel. So you are just about 15 minutes away from Glacier Park International Airport. This airport has recently undergone an expansion and renovations, making it truly a world-class airport, yet it still feels small and it's not overwhelming to go visit. You can get right through security. It's still a small airport in comparison to others, but it's been expanded to accommodate more travelers no matter what the season is, and you're only 15 minutes away. Glacier Park International Airport offers direct flights to hubs like Seattle, Salt Lake City, Dallas, Denver, and more. You can live off the grid without being cut off, and it's easily accessible to get to. Another pro of living in Whitefish, Montana is a strong short-term rental and investment potential. High demand for tourists equals a strong STR market, or short-term rentals. Think of your Airbnbs and your VRBOs, your Booking.coms, those types of experiences. There's a high demand for them. And it's in the wintertime, summertime, but also year-round. It's a desirable location for vacation homes and second properties. Pre-pandemic, a lot of the people who lived in Whitefish, Montana only lived here seasonally. So that is still an option if that's something you're looking for. However, we found that during and post-pandemic, more and more people decided to make Whitefish, Montana their permanent home. So now that I've shared all the good about Whitefish, Montana, and there is plenty of it, let's shift gears a little bit and do some real talk about living in Whitefish. I'm gonna share some of the cons of living in this area. Number 1, and probably the most common question that we get, is the cost of living. And I have to be honest, it's a little bit high. Real estate is more expensive here in Whitefish, Montana than in surrounding cities like Kalispell or Columbia Falls or Eureka. And Whitefish is one of the priciest markets in Montana. It's not quite as expensive as Bozeman, and it's not gonna feel as expensive if you're coming from a city like an LA or a Salt Lake City or a Denver, Colorado, or something of that sort, or even a Jackson, Wyoming. But in comparison to other towns in Montana, even Northwest Montana, Whitefish is just a little bit more expensive in terms of housing and the overall cost of living. Another con of living in Whitefish, Montana is the heavy tourism traffic. Summer and ski seasons bring a huge influx of tourists to the area. Parking can be tough, downtown does get crowded, and there aren't very many thoroughways through Whitefish, Montana. So the main streets that everyone uses to get to downtown can get pretty congested. On top of that, when it is snowing here and the roads are a little more icy and it hasn't been plowed quite yet, or even if it has been plowed, you're dealing with a lot more traffic for ski season and inclement weather. So that's another thing to be mindful of. Tourism and traffic, it can feel a little more congested in Whitefish, Montana. It still has that small town vibe. So when a lot of people visit the area and everyone's trying to do their errands or do their groceries, get to the ski mountain, get to the lake, it can feel pretty congested. Con number 3 is the 3% resort tax in Whitefish, Montana. Resort tax adds to everyday costs. It does help fund city projects, but it can add up for locals. It's something that new residents may be surprised by. Keep in mind that Montana has no state sales tax, so that is a big pro to living in Montana in general. So a 3% resort tax, while it can seem minimal, can add up, and it's something that Whitefish residents need to be mindful of and aware of. Con number 4 is the harsh winters and the extremes in weather that we do have. So snow in the area will start in November and December, but really stick in late December into January. And it can last until April. You are going to see snow on the mountains around you, April, May, even parts of June before they're really melted off. The roads can get icy. Snow removal is a constant chore. They are good about it here, but it does still take time and manpower. So you have to be mindful of icy roads, shoveling snow, and just trying to get around a small ski town when we have a big snowstorm. We also get really short days here. We are further north. So at the shortest times of the year, the sun can set at like 4:30 in the afternoon, and it's not gonna rise again until after 8:30, even close to 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. Then during the summertime, we're starting 4th of July fireworks sometimes at like 11 o'clock at night, because that's when it's finally dark. And then the sun is shining at 5 a.m. You are also gonna have some more cloudy days, some more gloomy days on top of less sunlight. So the seasonal affective disorder is more common if you're not used to long winters or longer nights and shorter days. So something to be mindful of. We often say here in Northwest Montana that our seasonal depression is lifting as the days get longer and a little bit more sunny. So just something to keep in mind and something to remember if you are not used to that kind of climate. Another con of living in Whitefish, Montana is a limited job market outside of tourism and trades. Most jobs in the area are in hospitality, healthcare, and construction. Remote work or entrepreneurship is also common. We love a good local business here. Salaries don't often align with the cost of living. So oftentimes people who work in Whitefish, Montana live in the outside cities. So if you're coming to Whitefish, Montana in hopes of a strong job market or white collar work, you may need to be aware that that's not going to be an option here. Just be mindful of that before you make your move, and try to have a job lined up before you start to search for a place to live in Northwest Montana, primarily Whitefish. And the last con of living in Whitefish that I'll talk about is the fact that you do need a car even in a walkable town. So as nice as it would be to have everything accessible for you right in downtown Whitefish, that's just not the case. You are gonna have to drive to Kalispell, which is about 20 minutes south, to do your errands at the big box retailers like Costco and Target or REI, Home Depot. Those are all in the hub of Kalispell, about 20 minutes down Highway 93. So in Whitefish, Montana, everything is still pretty spread out unless you're in the downtown area. But if you live just on the outskirts of Whitefish, you are gonna need to have a car. And 4-wheel drive is a must, especially during the snowy and the icy winters. If you move to the area with 2-wheel drive like I did, you'll find out real quick that's not gonna cut it here in Montana. You need to have 4-wheel drive for safety. The roads do get icy. There's a lot of hills in the area. They are frequently plowed, and Whitefish does do a great job of maintaining the roads. However, if you want to access Glacier National Park, if you want to access Whitefish Ski Resort, or any of the snowmobiling, snowshoeing, hiking, any of that stuff, you need to have 4-wheel drive. So keep that in mind as well if you're looking to move to the area. So there you have it, the pros and cons of living in Whitefish, Montana. There are many more, but I just went over a few of the most common ones here today. So who is Whitefish, Montana ideal for? Outdoor enthusiasts, remote workers, families who want a safe, community-oriented environment, or retirees looking for scenic, peace and quiet, being a little bit more spread out and having that small town feel. It might not be ideal if you are looking for big city nightlife, affordable housing, a fast-paced lifestyle, or a large job market. That said, if you love the mountains, if you want a slower pace of life, surrounded by beauty, feeling like you live in a Hallmark movie, this could be the spot for you. Moving to Montana myself, I can say that was the best decision that we made, but it isn't for everyone. If you want to know if Northwest Montana is a good fit for you, reach out to us. All of our contact information is below. We'd love to connect with you and see if moving to Northwest Montana, like Whitefish, is a good fit for you. Leave a comment below. What else would you like me to talk about in a future video? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and keep it real talk about living in Whitefish, Montana and the surrounding cities in Flathead County. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe for all the latest on what's going on in Flathead County. And we can't wait to hear from you. I'll see you on the next one.